You are a beekeeper.
I am.
And you keep your bees in your backyard of your home in the city limits. Can you tell me a little bit about that process?
Yes. I keep, as a hobby, I keep bees in my backyard. We're called backyard beekeepers sometimes is the term. We are legal in the state of Florida. Anywhere in the state it's legal to keep bees in your yard.
Tell me a little bit about your interest in bees and how you came to decide that you want to have bees in your backyard.
Well, it's an interesting story. I really was not interested in honey. I didn't care much for the honey I had. Just tastes like sugar water to me. But I keep citrus too. I have citrus in my yard. And about 7 or 8 years ago, I noticed that when the citrus was blooming, the flowers weren't covered with bees like they'd been for the 15, 20 years before, where you could come out in the backyard and there'd just be a buzz, a hum in the backyard. So I did some research and found that bees in the wild were dying out and becoming almost extinct, and got to looking into it and realized I could keep my own bees. So I got a box of bees, went through a class on beekeeping, and started my hobby of that, and my citrus started producing more fruit again. And I tasted the honey and fell in love with the honey that's wild honey from local. It's so much better than what you get in the store. So now I do it for the honey more than I do it for the citrus. So that's where I am.
Tell me, how long now have you been a beekeeper, and what things have you noticed or learned since you've been a beekeeper?
Well, I've been keeping bees, I believe, for 5 years this summer. Maybe 6. I'd have to look that up, but 5 or 6. And one of the things I've discovered is that there's so much to learn about beekeeping. And Florida is one of the best states in the United States to keep bees, because we have the University of Florida, and they have their own beekeeping college here. That they have a full professor that runs that, and it's one of the best information sources in the country for beekeeping. So, and it's local beekeeping, so they know our local problems. They have a bee college every year for us keepers, and we get to go and learn all kinds of things. And I learned that beekeeping it's important to keep your bees healthy and comfortable, and as a backyard beekeeper, I'm actually helping the environment. The wild pharaoh bees are dying out, and my bees are covering a 3-mile radius around my house. So I'm doing a service for my neighbors, pollinating their things, and bees are very important. So I'm enjoying it, and I've become an educator. I'm going through a program at the University of Florida called Master Beekeepers, and I'm about due to take my Master Beekeeper exams in the fall, and hope to be a Master Beekeeper by December.
So tell me, how many hives do you have?
Right now I have 3 full hives and a 4th one that's called a nuke, or a starter. I've split off a hive and started a new one, and I'm getting ready to put in a new experimental hive that I'm going to work with.
Okay. And what's the procedure for acquiring bees? I mean, if somebody wanted to start a hive, where would they go to find the beehives and buy the bees? Sure. And that kind of thing?
My recommendation is find a beekeeper, and find one that's willing to do a little mentoring. And some of them do seminars. I do seminars. Have them do a teaching and training thing. Find out what books are good. Read at least one book, and then you can buy your supplies either from that beekeeper or from their beekeeping supply houses, and you can get your bees from local beekeepers. Many of them will have an extra hive or something they're willing to sell, and they'll usually sell them for around $100. And they'll help you get started. And that's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm. So what has been your biggest surprise in all of this? I mean, what has been the most amazing thing to you that you've seen so far?
Well, just studying and learning about the bees. A beehive is really, you have 30, 40, 50,000 bees in a hive, but it's really one organism. It's a superorganism, and they all work together. They're almost like cells in a body more than they are individual bees. And bee reproduction really isn't about creating more bees in the hive. It's about sending out a queen and creating a new hive somewhere else. That's really reproduction, because that's what keeps the bees going. Mm-hmm. And a beekeeper's job is to keep them from swarming out somewhere else and capture those and start another hive, or you lose some of your bees and your honey. So we're going against nature, and that's part of our job, is to keep them here and happy.
Okay. Anything else you would like to talk about as far as beekeeping and backyard beekeeping?
Well, again, my passion is backyard beekeeping. I think we are the answer to the environmental problem of the colony collapse syndrome and some of the other things that are going on with bees going away. If we take care of them, we provide that 3-mile radius which pollinates the flowers and things that need to be pollinated for producing fruits and seeds and things like that. And of course we provide local honey, which is nice.